Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the REO. I got to work on the fuel system. Last time I took it out on the trip, it ran fine, but it had a little issue going uphill. I'm going to guess it, this tank back here that I was talking about in the video before that, where this is a heel tank. I don't really like that system. It's kind of like I forget to turn the switch, and so I'm going to be going up and I want to switch all that stuff. So I'm going to see if I can make it work better. I was told that it doesn't really need to have that. It should be running correctly without any of that stuff. The previous owner did a few things to it to try to fix having to have the gravity fed system, and I guess he came up with this idea. So that's his invention, and it doesn't quite work out for me. So let me see what I can fix, or maybe I can make it better. Who knows, right? So hey, keep it simple, right? Let's see what we can figure out. So see here, the fuel system in this goes down in there somewhere, and what it looks like, it appears to attached somewhere in this area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sneak under there with my trusty, Harbor Freight crawler, and it's been a while since I've used that thing, but I think it's the best way to get under there and move around. So yeah, let's see what we find down there. All right. Okay, so first time being down here, and I believe that's the transmission clutch pack, and it's attached to the flywheel here, so it's all kind of separate system, right? This wasn't all integrated and stuff. That looks like the throwout bearing or something. Okay, transmission goes back all the way back to the differential way back there. See if I can find the starter. I believe that's the starter up there. Yep. All right, real interesting stuff. All right, so the subject for today, if I can look at it, so there is the valve I'm working with, and that goes all the way over here to the carburetor, okay? But it's kind of a little routed, a little weird here. So this, the lowest point should be going to the carburetor, but it actually goes to the tank that's up there in the front. Whereas the one above it goes to the carburetor, which kind of doesn't make any real sense. So I'm gonna try to fix that. And let's see here. This goes back to the tank, I think. There it is. Goes back to the tank, and this is a little cup here. What I was told that this is a sediment tank or a cup. Sediment falls to the bottom of this, and then this just provides the fuel. That's your gravity fed system. Remember, there's no pump here, so yeah, okay. Well, let me see if I can make this work, and let's see what I figure out. Also, guys, here's a better look at that driveline setup. Real interesting. We got a triangular link thing going on here in the front. A stabilizer. There's a muffler over there. And mechanical brakes. By the way, those are dual brakes. There's outside brakes on those and inside brakes. So it's very interesting dual, like a brake on a single drum setup. All right, well, let's get to this fuel system. Guys, a long time ago, I learned that when in doubt, crescent wrench it out. I don't know what the size of these are right now, but I'm going to measure it out with this thing and see if I can't figure it out. Crescent wrench for the win. Let's make this happen. Okay, guys, so after much messing around and beating my hands up, I found out that really this is the problem. So you see, this line originally is supposed to just go straight to here. This is like a filter type deal, and little clear bowl glass so you can see the fuel going through. That wasn't originally on here. It's just a line, and though the line is fine and everything, this kind of does a kick up to go into here, which messes up having to go, with the whole gravity setup. So I'm going to try to eliminate this if I can. I like the whole sightable thing, but if I can't figure out how to make it straight through, I'm just going to route this straight through there. I'm pretty sure that'll fix the problem, and if I get a chance to, I'll try to do a whole idle thing to this and just kind of get it running running right, sorry. It runs okay now, but maybe we can get a little more out of it. We'll see. Anyway, priority is this, trying to straighten this out a little bit better, and I think that'll probably be my main problem. But anyway, right, let's get to it. Okay, so all right, so let's see here. I believe this is, yep, okay. Hope I don't make a mess. We'll find out right now. All right, so took the cup off, and that's kind of dangerous. All this fuel here. I'm sure that won't be sketchy. All right, now that I've safely disposed of the fuel that was in here, and you could tell that there was some sediment in there. So I'm gonna explore that too and make sure maybe, I don't know, maybe this thing's clogged. Worth looking into. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so this is what's under here. That goes above the cup, and you can tell there's a little screen here. Now, I've been told before by the guys that were helping me out that apparently this tends to get clogged and cause issues, so I was literally advised to just get rid of this. Kind of not necessary. You know, it's one of those things where the less impedance, the less restriction you put on the fuel, the better it is for these gravity-fed systems. And here's another interesting thing. Here's the valve seat that stops the fuel from going too fast into the carburetor. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna need this piece right here. And then, all right, we'll continue from there, but interesting, never seen one of these before. Okay, so I've cleaned everything up. This is the piece that has to go back to the carburetor. The little check valve there, or needle. So we'll put this back in here because that belongs in there. We'll leave that there. And then I will find a way to rehook up the fuel line there. I think just putting it directly there will probably solve most of my issues, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay guys, so got it all set in here, straight, no filter anymore. Now the hose, at least is sitting to where my liking is. Here's a flywheel, so I'm gonna do what I can to keep it away from that. Probably gonna mount it this way, just so it's out of the way, but pretty sure that should be good. Nice thing about these brass fittings is you don't really need sealant or anything to seal these right, just snug them down. They should seal themselves pretty good. Plus it's got a little cone here, so we're gonna flow it real quick and make sure it's not leaking anything, but let's see. There's no real pressure going through this, so let's find out. Okay, so I switched the fuel over. Yep, doesn't seem to be any spillage. Obviously I'm gonna test drive it first, make sure this all works correctly, but yeah, looks good. All right, let's cinch this hose down and see if I can take it for a test drive. All right guys, so far so good. No leakage. It's now tied down how it should be. Back here, it's away from the flywheel. We're ready to test drive. We're gonna do that in a second. But I wanted to go over this filter real quick. And so this is how it was mounted. Carburetor side, fuel side up there. And as you can tell, look at all this weirdness it's got to do to go through here. Now, if it was pressurized, like, you know, even maybe 2 psi, 3 psi with a fuel pump, that's fine. You know, there's actual pressure going through here. But if it's gravity fed, there's just not a whole lot of pressure. And on top of that, it's got to go through that screen. It's just, for something simple like this, it's not gonna work. So I get it. Now I understand why they told me to get rid of this. But I'm gonna hold on to this because it's a cool little, you know, historical piece. I'm sure it's not supposed to have this erector set of a piping going on here. So let's see here. Here we go. I don't know. I might keep it just to, come on, focus. There we go. Might keep it just to experiment with it, you know? See what I can do with this thing. I don't know, maybe for a future project or something. Future project, learn to speak. Future project. All right, well, let me see if I can't make some space. Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can make some space, get this thing out here, and I don't know, maybe take it for a drive. Right. Okay, guys, so quick update. This apparently belongs under the actual tank of one of these things. And, well, not one of these things, but a normal vehicle or one of these horseless carriages. Well, the idea behind this is this sits underneath the tank. This collects the sediment down here, and this petcock is designed so that when you want to, you know, clean this out, you shut off the valve, for fuel not to go through, open this, and then you can flush it out, right? And it's not supposed to have that screen that's in there. And then that goes straight to the carburetor. This car comes with one mounted already in the tank. Now I know there's a cup under there like this, except it's built into the tank. And I guess the idea is that once you pull the plug out, it flushes the whole thing out, which seems messier, but yeah, so that's why this was installed in the front here. Was not supposed to be, because I guess he felt that maybe that needed to be there, even though there was already one there. Just, you know, kind of an update on, I didn't know that what this was for, so I'm gonna hold on to this. This thing is still pretty freaking cool, right? And maybe someone needs it, so, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move a bunch of this stuff out of the way so I can get this thing out and try to drive it, see if maybe that fixed it. But I'm pretty confident that that probably should. You saw the convoluted mess of a fuel line that thing had, so let's find out if this works. Well, that was easy. One of the nice things about these big cars is because of those big freaking wheels and the fact that it's not super heavy, it's easy to move around by hand, so that was fun. All right, let's see how she drives. Okay. So this gives me an opportunity to show you a few things to note before you actually start one of these, because well, honestly, it's a lot like an airplane. There's a lot checklist. You got to make sure, you know, there's no fuel leakage, but we already know that that's okay. No obstructions, nothing weird. Always check before a drive and after a drive, you know, a ride, especially a long one. Everything is tight again. Make sure everything's tight, everything's fine. Nothing that's important is gonna come loose on you. Just because these are wooden wheels and these are tight and they still not the most, you know, reliable things in the world, but they function right. You gotta check your water. So this thing, make sure you look into here, make sure you have enough water. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, the screws are going forever. And let's see here. Needs a little bit of water. I'll go ahead and top that off, but you can't really tell in there, but that little tube should be covered. Not this tube, but the tube down there. Anyway, put some water in there in a minute. Let me close this side up real quick. Okay. You have this side here. And then you want to check your oil level. Now they have these little dials things here where you actually move it around and it tells you how the oil is doing. So it's supposed to tell you if it's full or not. It'll move back to the dial where it needs to be. Done in there, and looks like it's okay. It's not great, but you might need a little oil. So you always want to check that, and this is where you remove this to put in your oil. So, yeah. Okay, so it looks okay. Let's see here. Magneto, like I said earlier, make sure everything's tight. All right. Also, every once in a while, it might be a good idea to check tolerances. These, make sure these are running right. Make sure these are correct to right spec. The way you adjust those is down here, right there. You adjust them, and then these are the exhaust valves. You adjust them there. And I'll run through a procedure later about how to do that. But for now, just making sure. Quick overview. Everything looks okay. I know this thing starts and everything. Well, at least it did before I messed around with it. So. See if it works. Okay, everything looks okay. Let me add some water to this and then I'll go through the starting procedure. Actually, I'll leave this open. So once I start it, see what it looks like. Oh yeah, also, this wheel doesn't move and I'm a little on the hefty side. So getting in here is fun. So you know what, let me go to the other side and do that. Let's see. There you go. Yeah, good incentive to lose weight, right? Other than just health. All right, let's see. If I can start this thing. There we are. Okay, so. Oh, battery. Okay. Kill switch is on. All right. Let's see. Perfect. We got power, beautiful. Make sure this is out of gear. Okay, very good. Okay, let's see here. Clutch in. Completely retarded. Come on. Come on. Oh, oh. Okay, so we're getting close. Let's give it a little more juice. All right. Go. Ooh. That sounds okay. Here we go. Here we go. I'm getting excited. Ooh, she's alive. There we go. All right. She's going. Sweet, she's alive. Okay. Let's see if I can get her out of here. We'll leave it over here for now. Let's. Okay. Oh, it moves. Get it out of gear there. Inspect everything, make sure everything's good. Okay. No leaks or anything. All right, so we're gonna give her a minute to heat up. Give her just a little bit and we'll take her out for a drive. She ran. Let's see if she kicks over again. She made it. She went up the hill just like I wanted to. It didn't stall out. Hopefully I captured that footage. If I didn't, I do apologize. But yeah, my phone crapped out there for a second. But hey, it ran. It did what I wanted to do. Okay, so now what we gotta do is look at everything, make sure nothing's leaking, make sure everything's good. So let's do that now. Okay. So nothing's leaking. Everything seems to be okay. See back here, everything's fine. Nothing grabbed nothing. Radiator's good. She's up to temperature. You guys, I don't know if you guys can tell. Little red line in the middle there, or in the bottom. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Freaking awesome. So yeah, she ran great. This was awesome. Perfectly fine. No issues, no leaks. Actually has a little bit more power now, if you could believe that. I finally got all 35 horsepowers back, yeah. But no, I mean, it made it up the hill, no issues. Pretty sure it was a little filter having a problem and the way it was routed. To work on this thing, it was like, you know, I guess you guys get to see a day in the life of what it's like to work on one of these old cars, but nothing like the Fiero, nothing like the Barracuda, nothing like anything I've ever worked on, which is very interesting. But it was fun, it was pretty simple, and yeah, it was nice to actually not have issues for once. Anyway guys, that'll do it for this video. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff if you want, and see you guys in the next video.